The 1984 US Open final was played between Ivan Lendl and John McEnroe. We're in the second set now. The first set, McEnroe won 6-3. And in the second set, the first key point was in the second game. Lendl was up 1-love. He held serve. And Lendl had two break points, so McEnroe was down 15-40. And we kind of saw him walk around a little bit, loosen up his arm, and it just struck me that he had this kind of air of invincibility or aura of inevitability that he was going to win. And sure enough, he just cooked out two really good serves, some good volleys. He was right back to deuce, and then he won the game and continued to hold serve. So Lendl, through the first two sets, did not break McEnroe's serve once. The other key game, of course, is when they got to 3-all and McEnroe broke Lendl. And the reason why McEnroe was able to break Lendl, both in the first and the second set, was his quickness, really, to be able to get up to the net, to charge, chip and charge on a second serve usually, and make Lendl hit a good passing shot or a good lob shot. But these shots to Lendl were so deep and so hard for him to handle. Many of them he just netted or he just hit it, and McEnroe would put away the volley, or he'd lob it long and it would go out. So it was tough for Lendl to hold serve, and he was really having no shot of breaking serve, especially on McEnroe's. Other than that first game where he had two chances. In this match, you can really see why the hard court is beneficial to McEnroe, because from watching the French Open, which took place just 3 months before, the Lendl had a lot more time because the ball would kind of slow down on the clay, and he could wind up and hit really good backhands. That cross court backhand that he hit so many times on McEnroe, just didn't have time to do it in this match. And maybe even McEnroe could move faster on the court because he seemed to get up to the net very quickly in this match, even being as tired as he was after that semifinal match. The ball would just skid away on these volleys and stay low, and Lendl just did not have the time. One other thing that I noticed too, even though they're both pretty worn out from their previous day's matches, is that possibly the weather benefited McEnroe too. That French Open final was on a hot day. It was in the direct sunlight most of the afternoon, it seemed, and it was just they seemed to get hot and sweaty and bothered most of that match. And then this U.S. Open, it looked a little cooler. There's some shade moving across the court. Generally, September in New York is a little more comfortable, probably than Paris in June. And I think that was to McEnroe's benefit as well. So that brings us to 6-4. McEnroe's up 2-sets-to-love. And we're basically at the same point that they were at the French Open. McEnroe won the first two sets. In that match, 6-3, 6-2. In this match, it was 6-3, 6-4. So will McEnroe be able to go on and close it out, or is Lendl going to pull off another crazy comeback and win three sets in a row, or at least push McEnroe to a fourth or a fifth set? My guess is that he's not going to be able to do it just because he looks so worn out. In that French Open, Lendl was able to use his. He actually just outlasted McEnroe to some extent. He was in better shape. But Lendl played such a tough match the day before against Pat Cash that he was able that he just didn't have a lot of. Doesn't look like he has a lot of gas in the tank for this match. He is, however, trying to move around a little bit more. Well, at the one final point was that what I see as McEnroe's advantages here is he's playing the whole court. He's coming up too, but he really actually was able to kind of neutralize Lendl from the baseline. His backhand and his forehand were much more effective here in New York than they were in Paris. McEnroe's hitting more good backhands and good forehands, and the ball just kind of takes off on the surface. So it looks it looks like with all these factors, the McEnroe's going to go ahead and close out the match, maybe in the third set, maybe in the fourth. But um, I like kind of watching two matches between the same opponents just to kind of see what changed. And those are my theories so far. So we'll see how it plays out in the third set.